You just can't reach something with an SMG or whatever. Let's talk about rifle grenades now. Unfortunately, the BEF's rifle grenade did not get the updated HE model, probably because it's heat. Because of this, the BEF's grenade is significantly less powerful than the French and German grenades against soft targets. However, the BEF grenade is fantastic at destroying tanks. Stay tuned for more on that. High explosive rifle grenades are pretty much the same as throwable grenades. Get them as far away from you as you can. The main use of rifle grenades is the same as I covered in the last movie. The only difference now is that the grenades are much more powerful. Grenadiers get a good supply of grenades, so in normal combat situations you don't have to be as stingy as with regular grenades. They're best used against groups of enemy infantry or enemy which are in buildings and you don't have a shot at them. Experiment using them in different situations, but just remember, don't blow yourself up in the process. While the HE rifle grenades are like mini mortars, the British heat grenade is like a mini RPG. In my last movie I covered how to engage panzers at range and briefly mentioned that using them like sappers and getting close would also be a very good idea. Since then, this has definitely become the preferred method of using the grenades, and thanks to Alliance and WWII, we have a great guide for you folks to use. This is a compact version of a movie I worked with Alliance to get out to the public. Pay close attention to where you should aim and use the grenades. We'll start with the workhorse of the German army, the Panzer III. The shot for the PZ-3 is the same for both the PZ-3F and PZ-3H. Next up is the Panzer II, followed by the 38T. Now the Panzer IV and the Stug. The Panzer IV and the Stug share the same weak spot as the PZ-3 chassis vehicles. The only AFV which will usually escape your attempts is the 232. Fortunately for us, the 232 can be penetrated by rifle rounds on the back and side. These are very good spots to hit a 232 with an ATR as well. The game's graphics received a major overhaul in 1.13. All of the trees went into the third dimension, and there are now many, many more berms. Ditches have also popped up in some places, and forests are enterable. What does this mean for infantry? Well, it means a lot more cover and a lot more concealment. How you use this new cover will depend on the town, the battle, and the tactics. But there are a few very important things to remember when using our new prettiness. The most important thing is that what you see might not be what other people see. The trees and berms are in the same spot for everyone, but depending on your settings, you might think you're behind a bush, but someone might still see you. As you can see, you might be concealed on your end, but from someone else's perspective you could clearly be visible. So the trick is to not rely on the new bushes and the tree branches for concealment. Use the tree trunks and all of the new berms as your cover and your concealment. This way, you know you won't be seen by anyone. Another key feature is that all forests are enterable. What does this mean? Many new approaches to towns and usually FBs. Use the forest as often as possible. Not only do they provide the most concealment anywhere in the game, but there are also ditches which now ring the forest. These ditches give you good approaches to targets while still being in cover. Use them, you'll be much more successful. The next infantry feature we'll be covering is the lean command. Some find it incredibly useful, others find it buggy and useless. My experience has been both. It can be extremely useful in some cases, but in others you will inexplicably snap back to the normal position. But it does have some use in normal combat. Obviously you can use lean to poke at around buildings, walls, etc. This is probably how you will use it the most. Personally, I don't use it this way much though. I use lean more to shift my view around a window quickly and get an enemy infantry without overexposing myself. Another use is when hiding behind trees, so you can keep yourself behind the cover of the tree and keep yourself reasonably well hidden while having the ability to get a snapshot off. The only problem you may sometimes have is that the collision model can poke outside the normal model and your ballistics will seemingly stop for no reason. A great use for lean is when rushing a bunker. When you get inside the bunker, it gives you the ability to peek around corners and kill those EI which might be trying to get you, or your friends when you rush in. I can't possibly cover all of the uses of lean, so try and be creative in its use, but try avoiding overusing it. One of the final subjects we will touch on is the new commander unit for our high command staff people. The commander is something very different from the other infantry units in the game. Not only is the quality of the model much higher, but this is also not a normal combat unit. The commander unit doesn't really serve a purpose beyond showing who is a commander. Generally, if you see a person in a commander uniform, he's leading attack or defense and wants to wear his shiny new duds. I'm sure a lot of people want to try out the commander unit, but honestly, it's a piece of crap. The commanders are only armed with a pistol and almost no ammunition. For all of you commanders out there, try and avoid any combat beyond 10 meters, because your weapon sucks. If you absolutely must use the commander, don't shoot until the enemy fills your screen, because it's the only way you'll be able to hit someone. The final subject we'll be covering in this movie is the current do-nots of the game for infantry. Sometimes, things just won't help in the end, even though people are doing things for their best reasons. In this movie, we'll cover two of the biggest do-nots of the game currently. First is smoking depots. There was a time when this could have been helpful, but something changed. Grenades changed. People in the depot now have the ability to throw grenades out of the depot with pretty much nothing able to stop them. Because of this new ability, and because smoke does not render if a person spawns in after it's thrown, it's best not to throw smoke at enemy depots which have EI in them, especially ones you're trying to cap. This does not mean you shouldn't smoke a capper, do that every chance you get, but do not throw smoke at the depot itself. The second issue at hand is the tow bug. Unfortunately, this scourge against us has killed many unfortunate troops riding on trucks when a gun is in tow. Unfortunately, the best thing to do is not have an AT or AA gun hook up to your truck if you're carrying infantry. What could result is the death of all the troops on you. Hopefully, a kind soul will be willing to get a dedicated truck for towing AT and AA guns for the sake of the infantry. Hell, get off your butt and do it yourself, you lazy SOB. Yeah, you! Get a truck and drive those guns to battle. And so ends another training movie. And so begins the wait for more new goodies for me to cover. As of writing this, CRS has announced new AT guns. Infantry are getting their first person redone, and even destroyable and repairable bridges have been hinted at. While no new weapons for foot troopers has been announced yet, there will always be more stuff to cover. And it's thanks to all you folks who watch these movies, because you've made these more popular than I ever hoped. My last was the most watched of them all, and I hope you all enjoyed this one just as much, even if it isn't 40 minutes long. Till next time, this has been Snoop, and this is my 4th training movie.
See that? Could explode.